Too much talking. Rin woke up that morning with one clear goal. Don't talk. He stood on the BTS platform surrounded by sleepy commuters and the smell of strong morning coffee. Bangkok was already wide awake. Motorbikes roared below the tracks, vendors called out breakfast deals, and the heat was slowly building, even this early. Rin pressed his lips together and nodded to himself. Today, he would be quiet. Yesterday's disaster still played on repeat in his head. The CEO, Krit Ratnakarn. The look in his eyes, the silence after Rin's stupid comment. Rin adjusted his bag strap as the train arrived. Quiet, professional, invisible. The office looked the same as always. Glass walls, white desks, soft background music meant to sound modern but neutral. Outside the windows, Bangkok moved non-stop, alive and loud. Inside, everything was controlled. Rin felt smaller than usual. He sat down, opened his laptop, and didn't say a word, not even good morning. One of the interns glanced at him, surprised. "You okay?" she mouthed. Rin nodded seriously. At 10 sharp, an email landed in everyone's inbox. Subject: assistance needed. Branding review. Rin's stomach dropped. A few desks away, someone whispered, "Oh no." The senior manager stood up. "We need one intern to assist Mr. Ratnakarn with organizing feedback for the new cafe concept. Just files, notes, and presentation material." Her eyes moved across the room. Rin stared intensely at his keyboard as if concentration could save him. "You," she said. Rin looked up. "Yes? You're good with presentations. Go." Of course. The universe clearly had a sense of humor. The meeting room was quieter than the office. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a large table, the city stretched endlessly below. Krit was already there, standing by the glass, phone in hand, looking out over Bangkok like it belonged to him. He didn't turn when Rin entered. "Rin," the manager said, "just assist, organize what he asks for." "Yes," Rin said automatically, then stopped himself. He clamped his mouth shut. The manager left. The door closed. Silence. Rin stood near the table, gripping his laptop like a shield. Krit turned at last. Up close, he felt even more intense. Calm, sharp, perfectly put together. Not cold, but not inviting either. Rin bowed quickly, too quickly. "Good morning, sir." Krit nodded once. "Sit." Rin sat. "Open the files. Group the feedback. No commentary." "Yes." "No commentary," Rin repeated in his head. "You can do this." For a while, it worked. Rin focused on the task. He sorted notes, dragged files, labeled slides. Krit leaned over occasionally, pointing at the screen, giving short instructions. Put that under public response. Rin nodded. Okay. Okay was safe. Then Rin saw it. The color palette. His soul screamed. Soft beige, muted brown, polite neutrals. Rin stared at it, jaw tight. Don't speak, don't speak. But his thoughts raced. This doesn't feel like Bangkok. This feels like a hotel where nobody laughs. Krit pointed again. Add that comment to slide 6. Rin nodded, and before he could stop himself, the words slipped out. If you're aiming for young professionals, this feels too safe, like it's afraid to exist. Silence. Rin's froze. Krit looked at him, unreadable. Rin's heart slammed against his ribs. He swallowed. Sorry, just feedback. Krit didn't say anything. He turned back to the screen. Continue. Rin exhaled slowly. 10 minutes passed. They worked quietly again. The sun climbed higher, casting bright reflections across the table. Outside, Bangkok buzzed. Cars honking far below, a distant siren, the endless noise of life. Rin noticed a note about background music. He hesitated. Don't. But if the playlist is too calm, people won't stay. Cafes here need energy. People come to work, but also to feel something. He stopped talking on his own this time. Krit's eyes flicked at him. Rin braced himself. Instead, Krit said, "Show me an example." Rin blinked. "Really?" Krit nodded. Rin opened a folder, pulled up references, photos, mood boards. His hands moved faster as his confidence grew. "This kind of light," he pointed. "This color, it feels like Bangkok at noon, loud, bright, alive." Krit watched. He didn't interrupt. Rin took that as permission. "And the original layout, sorry, but it's awkward. People won't take photos there. This corner," he leaned closer, animated, "perfect for natural light. Add plants and—" He stopped. Krit was looking at him like that. The look. Rin shut up immediately. They continued in silence, until Rin couldn't help himself. "Also," he added a little too casually, "whoever approved the first version clearly never visits cafes, or maybe they hate joy." Krit's gaze snapped at him. Rin froze. That one had crossed the line. He pressed his lips together, shrinking back into his chair. Krit stared for a long moment. Then calmly, he said, "Prepare the full presentation." Rin nodded quickly. "Yes, sir." He worked fast, too fast, focused. When he finished, he turned the screen toward Krit. Krit studied it carefully. Minutes passed. Finally, he nodded once. "Good work." Rin's chest loosened. Then Krit added evenly, "If you talk this much again, you're gone." The words were quiet, controlled. They landed heavier than yelling ever could. Rin swallowed hard. "Yes, sir." He meant it. As he left the meeting room, Bangkok stretched endlessly beyond the glass. Loud, bright, unapologetic. Rin pressed his lips together again. Too much talking. And yet, something told him this wasn't the end.